Today, we are going to be investigating the biggest myths in Keyboard Escape and testing if they're real. This first myth is actually by the owner of the game itself, so I think that there's a good chance that this is actually real.
I hid a secret in my game almost 6 months ago, and for 6 whole months, nobody found it. Millions of players walked right past every single day, because in my game, everyone does the exact same thing. They run forward, chasing more speed, always forward. So my secret just sat there, hidden in plain sight, until yesterday. One kid was walking a stage when he did something really weird. He stopped, and instead of running to the end, he turned around. He walked all the way back to a wall that everyone ignores.
Wait, what stage is this on, chat? I want to test this. Which stage is this on?
That's when he saw it, a tiny gap behind the keyboards, just big enough to slip through. So he squeezed in and dropped into a room no player had ever seen. My secret room. The whole server went crazy in the chat.
Wait, how is he in there?
And inside, there was one thing waiting for him. The rarest item in my entire
What? The rarest item in the game?
The mask I hid the day I built this place. But here's the part he didn't know. I made it so only the very first person to ever find it could take it. So this random kid who just got a little curious walked out with something.
Okay, stage 10, stage 10. Let's just go to stage 10 and see what's there. I don't think it's real because, well, I mean, it was real, but I think somebody took it already. So let's go to stage 10. Yeah, look at that, bro. There's nothing here. Look, I can even glitch my camera and we can look inside of the wall and we can actually see that there's nothing there. So this one, oh wait, I see, look at this. It used to be under there because there's a space right there. So wait, actually, I think that one is real. I think that one is real because it was by the owner of the game. All right, let's investigate more myths, bro. That was the first one. I think we're going to give that myth a 5 out of 10 because it might be real. It's possible. This one is a bunch of different myths from this guy named Bumpkin. I don't know if these myths got fixed yet because I think they're like shortcuts in the game. So we're going to watch this and we're going to test them and see if we can do these shortcuts.
There she is. All right, let's wait for them. All right, she's coming. Go into the corner. Let's see. I'm in the corner. There we go.
She can't kill you in the corner? Yo, that's fake. That has to be fake. They definitely fixed that, bro. 100%. They definitely fixed that. They definitely fixed that because I remember when that was the thing. All right. Let's go over here. So all he did was go in the corner. And can it not hit me? Oh my God, that one is confirmed. Wait, this makes me want to go to another stage with a boss on it and see if that one could, if you could do the same thing. Here's another boss. Let's see if it works with this boss. No way, bro. Cannot. Okay, I'm going to the corner.
Hey, it's you! Give us that power back! We've earned it, not you! I hate you!
I'm moving as fast as I can, but we need more people here stat!
I won't be alone!
Hey guys, Pilcrow here, and today we're going to be ranking all Phase 1 Teapot episodes. So yeah, phase 1 episodes are between 1 and 11. So any episodes after that, I won't be ranking. Maybe another time, who knows. Also, before we start this video, remember, this is my opinion. You don't need to take it too seriously, and you can always leave your own opinion in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and let's start. So I'm going to do this in the numerical order of the release. So the first episode I'm going to rank is Teapot 1. And yeah, I don't think Teapot 1 was that bad for a starting episode. I will say, Teapot 1 is absolutely not as memorable as BFB 1. As for the debuts, winner was obvious. They were obviously going to join, and price tag was okay. I'm confident they always planned for 2 contestants to join, so that way one could be winner, which is the contestant they really wanted to join, and another completely new character. I also really liked seeing all the teams form. That was easily the best part of the episode, especially with Snowball towards the end. That was pretty fun. Now, how about the challenge? Well, it was pretty basic. However, I'll let it slide because it was the very first episode. And yeah, it was pretty enjoyable for a first challenge. Remote was amazing in Teapot 1. This episode was easily her best episode in Teapot. And yeah, there were a bunch of other moments in this episode that were really cool and I liked seeing. As for Death Pact again being the loser here, I think it was deserved. Death Pact hadn't lost since BFB 4. So yeah, it was very long overdue. I did wish this episode was a little longer, that way we could have fleshed out more of the characters. But overall, this was a very great episode. Easily an 8 out of 10. Well done, Teapot 1. Now let's get on to Teapot 2, and this episode took a year and a half to come out. And let's talk about the thing I liked least about the episode. Teardrop joining. Just why? She already made it extremely far in BFB and got a lot of development in that same season. If any of the BFB post-split characters should have joined Teapot, it should be Balloony, not Teardrop. So yeah, that was very disappointing. Something that wasn't disappointing though is Pi getting eliminated in this episode. And yeah, everybody saw Pi getting eliminated. Nobody is surprised. 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 Nobody is surprised.
Ankslop is like the ultimate buzzword, right? It combines two words that are already used as a swift way to disregard something into a sharp arrow of easy criticism, which has been fired into quite a few popular movies, games, and shows. In fact, one of those shows, or I guess seasons, has been this recent stretch of Teapot episodes, which, by having a larger focus on high stakes, character arcs, and major plot lines, have gotten hit with this angsty label. The discourse is mainly on Twitter and TikTok, aka where buzzwords thrive, and because we're in the middle of these Defeat 1 episodes, I want to throw my hat into the Ankslop ring by taking a look at where the critique started to spring up, the specific reasons behind it, and what I personally make of the show becoming more serious. There's a lot to be said about how Teapot has evolved, so let's not stall any longer and answer if Teapot is Ankslop. Now, I hope y'all are ready for a rabbit hole with this topic, because there's a lot of weirdly complex shit to talk about with this one critique, and if we want to have a grasp on it, we gotta start by talking about where it came from. You see, back during Teapot 1 through 14, nobody was calling the season Ankslop, and not just cause the word didn't exist yet. These episodes do have a larger focus on character arcs and storylines compared to BFB, hence why Michael and Carrie decided to split BFB in the first place. Yet even as things really heat up in episodes like 7, 9, 10, and 13, Teapot still has a very fun vibe. We have vibrant backgrounds, goofy teams, lots of jokes, and no matter how good or mid an episode may be, because they're all decently long, there's a lot of runtime to slowly build multiple things up, and it never feels like we have any jarring tone shifts when crucial character or plot moments do take place, because the show does a great job at leading into them. We have a solid flow in this 14 episode crop, and it isn't until Teapot 15 where this trend gets rattled, because damn, that title ain't lying, because we do be having a seasonal shift in tone. For most of the episode, we're going through the whole 15-year anniversary shebang, with a ton of fan service, action, comedy, and high stakes tackled in a similar way to Teapot 9 or 13, where it's like serious, but not like super serious. However, towards the end of Seasonal Shift, we have two flickers of that super seriousness coming from Pencil and the ending. Starting with Crash Out City over here first, Pencil had been on a bit of a mean streak since she rejoined, but her blowing up at Golf Ball, consumed by rage and fear after being trapped in the exit, is a big leap that's played completely straight. Now, it's not crazy intense or anything, like, come on now, let's be for real. Yet the scene is still eye-catchingly different from how the show usually is, and after it's followed up with the steel chair of the oh shit, Claudia screwed us and we're legit gonna die scene at the end of the episode, I think here's where you could say Teapot commits to going in a plot heavier, or rather angstier, direction. It takes more than a few sparks to make a fire though, since this isn't the episode where the Teapot is too angsty discourse really took off. Things calm down a bit in Teapot 16 and 17 after all, as both episodes keep comedy in the forefront and do a nice job weaving in the serious or plot-heavy scenes they do have in a natural way. Said scenes have grown gloomier and tenser since the rift appeared, but none of them are at the same world-ending level of Teapot 15, and after these episodes were followed up by an almost entirely fun outing in Teapot 18, it was looking like things might stay chill for a few more episodes until we get hit with Steel Chair number 2 and have to take a seat back in Serious Town, because from Teapot 19 onwards, those serious sparks have lit a fire painted over every episode. The sky is blacked out, tensions are high, comedy has become secondary to the plot and raised stakes, and after 3 or so episodes that maintain this energy, the Ankslop allegations hit the mainstream. So yeah, it took a long time for the show getting too dark to become a problem people had with the season, and because all these debates only started in the past year or so, the word Ankslop is very volatile. It covers way more stuff than the regular definition of the word, which is simply about shock value, and now that we've made it to the primary episodes where this concern resides, we need to talk about the expanded reasons behind why Teapot is called Ankslop, which is split into 4 specific categories. Starting with the most obvious one, Teapot is called Ankslop because of how different it feels. No other season has dove headfirst into having a big overarching plot like Teapot has, so some will say that Teapot doesn't fit in and is too different from what BFDI should be. Like, they don't care about the backstories or end of the world, they just want goofy characters and challenges. So by changing things up, the season becomes bad and is forcing this grounded tone. And hey, feeling forced is actually our second specific, because by embracing a mood that's at odds with BFDI's usual comedy, they'll say episodes like 19, 21, and 23 have a tone problem and fail to balance goofing off and locking in. From there, our third specific is less about Teapot itself, and it's that the jokey haha show becoming serious pipeline has become oversaturated. Plenty of other regular and object shows have done the same thing Teapot is doing, with some being good, some being mixed, and some being, really bad. But regardless of the batting average, the fact there are so many shows doing the same kind of thing can create a feeling of fatigue and annoyance when the biggest object show around is also doing it. Lastly, our fourth specific is directly about Teapot again, and it's that people say focusing on all these big plot lines causes unbalanced screen time. You have characters like Pencil and One eating 5-star gourmet meals. Meanwhile, everyone else is fighting for scraps between all the side plot lines, each other, and how Teapot is moving like Avengers Endgame by bringing in all the eliminated characters, making everything unbalanced and messy. Those are the key issues, and when you throw them all in a witch pot, mix it up, and add a wasp for that toxic buzz, you get the blunt statement that Teapot is Angslop. See what I mean when I said it was all weirdly complicated? Because having so many angles to the phrase makes it apply differently to every episode it's been thrown at past Teapot 18. There's just a lot to the whole thing. And while so far I've only talked about general opinions, I'm gonna stop fence-sitting now, because having said all these reasons for why people say Teapot is Angslop, I actually disagree with the broad idea and think the phrase is a bad and vague way to describe some of the season's actual problems. And there definitely are actual problems in these next 6, or well, nobody calls Teapot 22 Angslop, so 5 episodes that tie into our specific reasons. So how about we now go through the issues commonly connected to Angslop within these episodes, so I can say what ones I think do and don't hold up, along with why I think Angslop in general is a bad way to describe them. Alright, of these 5 episodes, this is definitely the most well-liked one, but even so, there are some angsty issues people have expressed. The main 2 I've seen are that it struggles to balance screen time, with Pencil having way more than characters who die early, and that the dark tone it has feels forced, with scenes like Grassy in the vent trying too hard to be serious. Now that first point I do agree with, since Teapot has always had a hard time balancing screen time, and in a Battle Royale challenge, the early outs of Fanny, Marker, Pen, Tennis Ball, and Tree were simply doomed to get less content due to staying dead. Pencil getting a ton of focus can also be irritating, especially if you compare her content this season to Lie, and while I do find her scenes interesting here, I still agree with the general problem of dividing screen time in this episode. Does that problem make the episode Angslop though? Not really, cause again, plenty of pre-Teapot 15 episodes have the same issue, and neither does the feeling too different / dark problem, because the show has clearly been building up to an episode like this for a while. Ever since Teapot 9, one has spent all her time plotting in the shadows, so an episode where she gets in the thick of it and makes a grab at power is something that needed to happen, along with needing an appropriate shift in tone. If everything was all smiles for the whole cast in the challenge, the episode straight up wouldn't work. And while you can call things like the tense mood or Grassy crying in the vents a bit heavy-handed, there's a clear and effective intention with every major component of this episode. So with all these things in mind, I feel pretty confident in saying that being Angslop is not a good way to describe the issues Teapot 19 does have. Teapot 20, on the other hand, is less clean-cut. Now, I did make a whole video about the episode when it dropped, but low-key, I think there was some recency bias in my veins, cause while I haven't fully switched up on the episode, I definitely would have focused more on the problems it has if I made that video now. The most commonly discussed of which being that having a whole episode dedicated to one's backstory is unnecessary, it has poor pacing, it mischaracterizes 4, makes 1 less threatening, and okay, this last one is just an angry face with the caption "I hate algebrailians," which feels like a topic way too big for this video, so I'm gonna put it aside and get into these other critiques. Firstly, I think pointing out the pacing problems is totally valid, but like with screen time distribution, BFDI in general has dealt with poor pacing long before it tried to be serious. And in the same way, the episode feeling unnecessary is something all non-competition episodes have to deal with, leaving the character issues of 1 and 4 as the only issues that fully align with the idea of Ankslop. With 4, he wasn't originally meant to be a grounded character.
I gotta.
I'm the Backrooms. I costed 10 million and made almost 400 million. I'm Obsession. I costed
The road to becoming a BFDI finalist, or even reaching the late game, will always be a treacherous one. You gotta have enough spice to stand out and have support without getting a target taped to your back, and there's only a few characters who've been able to reach the end of the show. This game. The road to be ever is BFD out BFD flame competitor over to how Needle because use Needle instantly from the rest. She's just Ninja what he should finding star he was, especially thanks to sensing. The road to becoming a BFDI finalist, or even reaching the late game, will always be a treacherous one. You gotta have enough spice to stand out and have support, without getting a target taped to your back, and there's only a few characters who've been able to reach the end. Many fall short, especially ones that are liked without having massive fan bases, but in an interesting twist of fate, Needle was able to go the distance, being just that. She for sure had fans, but for most of the show, Needle was stuck in a stagnant position of being underutilized and never achieved the level of popularity reached by some of her Season 1 peers. Her past is riddled with failure, but despite the tough competition in BFDIA, Needle never became hated and rose above her past to claw her way to the season's podium. So how'd she do it? How'd Needle beat the odds to outlast all but one of her BFDIA competitors? Well, that's what I'll be answering today, as I go through all of Needle's flame outs and flame ups over the years, because this is the redemption of Needle in BFDIA. We open with our low points, as we gotta know the scope of how underused Needle was before talking about redemption. Starting in OG BFDI, you can instantly spot a problem for her in the first 2 episodes, because Needle feels pretty isolated from the rest of the cast. She's not in a friend group, she has no rivalries, she's not a villain, she's just a girl who blocky chucks at Bubble, who's also kinda good at challenges based on her Ninja Warrior skills. Now remember, this season was made by preteens, so I'm not, and nobody should be expecting Needle to be a complex, tragic, jaw-dropping, genre-defining character. But without having a clear archetype or big connections with anyone else, Needle's start isn't memorable, and she gets lost in the sauce of everyone around her. Or at least she was, before gaining her defining gag in episode 3 that needs no introduction, especially since it literally takes over her personality for the rest of the season. You see, thanks to puberty, Carrie wasn't able to do the high-pitched voices of Needle and Ice Cube after episode 4, so they only speak in reused lines from then onwards in season 1. This made the needy joke become an integral part of Needle's character, which didn't solve her connections issue, but surprisingly wasn't a death sentence either, and it gave her something to stand out. However, she still got eliminated soon after, due to getting hella set up in BFDI 6. I mean, it's not as blatant as some later season 1 boots, looking at you, Tennis Ball and Ice Cube, but
Bro, if you're seeing this, you're actually lucky because this short has no title, no description.
Why did you?
When BFDI and II had a crossover talking about their similar counterparts, it got me thinking, what other characters have connections that weren't shown in the video? To start off,
the Numberblocks Fantastic 40s have just been confirmed. Let's get into it straight away. I'm Numberblock Fun, and I'm here to talk about this today. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out here, and it's free. Let's get to 23,000 subscribers soon. Anyway, let's do this. A second Instagram reel was posted today. Let's get right into it.
Let's meet the brand new Numberblocks in the Fantastic 40s.
Shout out to anyone who predicted the name Fantastic 40s, because it's canon.
Ooh, this number block shares a 40-ish love of rectangles. But no matter where she puts that last red block, she can't quite fit into one.
Loves rectangles just like 40, but has the same problem as 19, being a one-off. Oh, and she's a female.
That's not going to stop her trying, though.
Yeah, sorry, mate, you're a prime number. Stop trying.
Can you guess who she is? Prime number block 41.
Oh my gosh, look at this absolute baddie. She got eyes even bigger than her eyebrows, and we love the colors green and red on her. But that's 41. Let's get into 43.
Here's a clue. This number block can make a rectangle.
Number blocks, you can't afford to make such mathematical mistakes like that again.
But with a big hole in it.
Oh, never mind. Sorry I ever doubted you guys.
And there are always 3 blocks left over.
Didn't we just have this person?
He loves to explore perimeters.
Perimeter? You better get those Zoom bugs back, because I want to see my little square goats.
Can you guess who he is? It's number block 43.
Holy yoil, fire design. We be loving that pattern on his blocks. And he also looks like the type of guy who just go up to someone and say, "Hello, James."
Here's a clue. This number block can split into 4 lots of 11.
So 4 members of the League of Elevens, or 5. I wonder when 55 is going to join the team.
He's the supportive team coach of the League of Elevens. Can you guess who he is?
Oh my gosh, he's a coach.
It's the inspiring football coach who believes everyone's a winner. It's number block 44.
Wow, he be looking fine. And he's got the same sort of badge as 33, only with squares on it. Did he invent square football?
Here's a clue. This number block is an expert in mysterious cosmic energy.
No way. Oh my gosh, what? Who knew we were getting friggin' cosmic energy in number blocks?
And twice as happy being herself as she's double number block 23.
Oh gosh, oh no, oh, not this again. 23 didn't bother being anyone. Hopefully 46 can make up for that.